Hi, it's Heidi Sawyer. I had an amazing opportunity to spend some evening sessions with a group of extremely motivated, intuitive, sensitive people. These are people who are driven to understand the deeper meaning and purpose of their life. During these sessions, I took them along a 7-step proven path that I have walked myself and helped many others do the same. That I've done with incredible results. I'm sorry you couldn't be there, but I hope this is the next best thing. These are excerpts from the live events. Here they are. Enjoy, and I hope more importantly that you do something with them for your life moving forward. Thank you for listening. As you move into stage 2, now giving you stage 1 will give you a strong idea of your foundations and how that's where you found yourself today. Okay, so stage 2, stage 2, what that is, stage 2 is a choice. Okay, so stage 1 happens upon people. Stage 2 is a choice. Okay, you have to have conscious participation in stage 2. And what this is, stage 2 is the integration of the soul energy and the personality. So the soul energy is the deeper part of yourself and the personality is the everyday self. Okay, it's the integration of the two. And what it is, it's now at its height. So in stage 1, you had a strong awareness of these two kind of parts of yourself. This conscious part and this unconscious part, and you sort of went, whoa, okay, what on earth's that? At stage 2, it's now a conscious choice to take that further, to take your awareness further. So your soul and the personality have made, if you like, a pact in your inner world to integrate. Okay, now that integration isn't always easy, which is why quite often at the beginning of stage 2, lots of people go through powerful emotional changes. Okay, because you're starting to get to the stage where you know too much. You know too much of the astral, you know too much of emotion, you know too much of how to interpret it, and to the extent where you'll know what someone is thinking even if they're not saying it. And you may have found yourself testing your environment just to see if you're right. And then you go, oh gosh, I really wasn't sure if I was right, but obviously I was. Oh, how do I solve that? Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, you've all done it at some stage or another, given it a go and see whether you're right. And what that is, it's a clear indication that your soul and personality are now really beginning the process of integration. Okay, once that starts, you can't go back, and you know that. Once you've opened that door, you can't become ignorant again. In the time of the ancients, would it be that people grew up with these two things as a normal part of your process? I would absolutely agree with that, because I would say that a lot of the stories and a lot of the mythology and things like that have survived thousands of years is actually the story of the astral. It's a lot of a story of, you know, how you learn how to manage emotion and all of that kind of stuff. And so yes, I would say it's a normal part of our process, but it's a process that has become separated.
Like Aborigine myths.
Yeah, all kinds across the world, all the different kinds of all the different myths, legends, even fairy tales are very strongly linked with experiences of the astral. You know, the whole Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf and all of that kind of stuff is all absolutely really symbolic of the astral experience. Okay, so what happens is when the personality and the soul really start to combine their communication, it switches to a knowing. Okay, you can't really distinguish between the two. It just is. You just know. Okay. So at a physical level, this is how it happens. So stage 2, this is how it happens. There's a training of the mind. Okay. And what that means is that there's a conscious interaction in your inner world to help reduce the chaos, fear, and tension of the everyday self. Now, everyone in this room has done that. You've been working through that, and you may have been doing that for quite a long time. At different layers, you've been doing that. Okay. Now, stage 2 is also known as empathic accuracy. Okay. Now, this is a term that is more widely used, but it's something. It's a link into your understanding of how you work. Now, your empathic accuracy, you will find is something quite natural to you as an intuitive sensitive. Okay. So there's 4 areas of empathic accuracy. First one is the accuracy in judging others' personality traits. Okay, you will find that you're really good at figuring out other people's personalities, even if you have never met them. Okay, I could give you, and I have done it in many different classes, I could give you photographs of people that you didn't know, and they could have a bag on the head, and you would still be able to give really, even you wouldn't be able to see them, or sunglasses or whatever, you would still be able to give quite an accurate picture of their personality. Okay, now you could say it's because they're doing this, they're doing that, whatever their body movements are. If you only look at it from that perspective, you would find that your knowledge of them would be extremely limited. Okay, what you have the capacity to do as an intuitive sensitive is to switch, as soon as you know how to, is to switch into looking at them from an energetic standpoint. Okay, you don't know body language, you haven't got a clue, don't know what this means, that means, or whatever, and it's too slow. Okay, the process is too slow, you can't bother to work it out, can't remember, for starters, what it's supposed to mean. But you will find that you have an accuracy in judging others' personality traits. So, using it in psychic development terms, okay, the other person doesn't have to be present for you to be accurate. Okay, so you don't have to have any kind of, knowledge of them standing in front of you for your perception of who they are for it to be accurate. Okay, fear would make you inaccurate. If you step aside from that, you will find that your accuracy is really quite spot on. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Number 2 is the accurate perception of understanding others' attitudes, values, and self-perceptions. Okay. So what that means is you going into somebody else's world and seeing and feeling other people in terms of their world as your own and reflecting it back. Okay. So always when I'm working with somebody, I'll go in and look out through their eyes. Okay, I'll go into their world, their energetic vibration, and look out into the world through their eyes. Because only then do you have a clear understanding of the right way for them to tackle a particular situation. In my opinion, or in my experience. Okay, and you have that capability as well. But at stage 1, you might have been really scared of that, because you kind of go slipping in and out people's perceptions all the time. Go, whoa, don't want to be in here. Whoa, don't want to be in there. Oh, I'm in their thoughts. Whoa, I'm in their astral. Whoa, no, get me out of here. It's too uncomfortable. Okay? But the accuracy comes within seeing and feeling other people's world as your own and reflecting it back. So you are then giving them an interpretation of the way that they perhaps feel about something. Okay? And you can do that, and you do it very well. Number 3 is the perceiver's accuracy in inferring the emotional state of one or more people. Okay? What that means is your ability to look at the energy of more than one person at a time using images stored in your brain. Okay? This is why you have an obsession with books, information, why that pile of them never seems to go down. Okay? Because you need that information, you need points of references in your own brain in order to be able to interpret it as far as other people are concerned. Okay? Now, you can't stop this now. You can't pass a bookshop. Okay? Something draws you in, and something, or you can't pass a piece of information. You have to look at stuff. Something talks to you, something jumps out at you, because you need more and more things, information to store. Okay, so that you can draw upon it when necessary. And you don't go out looking for these connections with people. It happens. It happens, and you find yourself in the right place, and you find the perfect thing falling out of your mouth in terms of something that's helped an individual. You don't know how. This is how. Okay. Number 4 is the perceiver's accuracy in the specific content of another's thoughts and feelings. Okay, so this is in terms of the specific content. So what happens, how you're able to interpret this, is what you'll find is when you're looking into a gentle person, you will receive the information gently. Okay, so that may not be something that you're used to, so therefore it's too subtle and you miss the interpretation, but it's still there. Okay, so you have to learn how to read the subtle frequency. If you are reading through the energy vibration of a nervous person, the energy will come through as nervous energy. Okay, does that make sense? Giving you a way of how you connect it. So you'll suddenly feel nervous, and you think, well, I'm not sure I can do this. And you won't understand why. What you're actually doing is picking up, and you're perceiving it through that person's body. So it's being able to then step over that and go into the next stage of it. Muddled, you can guess. But then what happens is the information then straightens out. Okay, so you get very muddled first, really muddled, and then if you're there long enough, it will straighten out. Which is why when you're out and about and you go into different situations, you go through a whole array of different experiences and emotions in one afternoon. And you don't know how that happened, because you were fine before you left the house. This is what you're doing. You're going through all of these experiences. You're going through experiences of different people's energy fields. Okay, and you're spontaneously at times nipping in, having a look. Now the key is, and this is more into the super intuitive state, is going, oh, okay, that's whose world I'm looking out of right now. Oh, okay, that's where this is. You don't then start taking it and interpreting it as your own. Okay, this is why it's crucial that you tidy up your own astral field. Okay, which is why you'll see, or you have experience in the things that I've said to you, is that, you know, the consciousness line, why it's important to really focus on that 9 frequency and where that goes through its tidying up. Okay, and It's not necessarily something that you have to consciously focus on. It's happening in your world, which is why lots of things come at you in order for you to solve. And for a period of time, they may feel like they're quite dramatic. Either they are external experiences where it's quite dramatic, or it feels like an internal experience where it's quite dramatic.
But what happens is that when you have quite vivid dreams, is that linked to dreams as well? And it's
Yeah,
out in the background.
absolutely. Vivid dreams are strong connections as far as that's concerned. We tidy up a lot in our sleep, an awful lot. Absolutely.
Is that also why meditators go on retreats? So they sort out their system?
Yeah, sorting out your system in terms of meditation and retreats. There is you could equate an actual fact, that there is the beginnings now, and it's not in full flow yet. There's a beginnings of a very strong interest in mindfulness and meditation. And it's becoming something, 10 years ago it was all, oh, do you do your wacky stuff kind of thing. And now mindfulness and meditation is something that it isn't seen as wacky. It's starting to be seen as necessary. Okay, it's all right. So then where it's coming up as necessary, what that means is that we're able to straighten out parts of our 9 vibration. Okay, so it tidies up and it evens out. Okay, but it's happening on a wider scale than the individual, but you are experiencing it as the individual. Okay, does that make sense? You also see, at number 4, you also see or perceive things the person's psyche is already prepared for, but they don't yet have a conscious knowledge of. Okay, so this is where you're described as very perceptive, and that you kind of have a view of seeing things before they occur, and you're then known as the told you so. Because you've kind of got this, oh, well, I told you that thing going on. Okay, that's where it comes from. So how do you master stage 2 intuition? There is an active training of the mind. Okay, so you do have to participate within your own process. So how do you do that? You do a lot to do with solving fears. You do a lot to do with conscious interaction with yourself. Okay, so rather than allowing your system to go into a reaction, that you have a level of a conscious interaction when you're choosing outcome. Okay, so how do we also do it? It's a case of switching our senses from outward stimulation to inner. Okay, so people are heavily directed by their external world. Okay, something happens in the external world, it puts the inner world in crisis. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. So switching our senses from outward stimulation means that something can happen in the external world, but we can still remain calm in dealing with it, because it's not indicative of how we feel about ourselves. Okay, and it is also the removal of boredom. Okay, so as we go deeper into stage 2 of our own process, it means that your capacity to be bored is reduced enormously, which you will have found that it's more tricky now for you to be bored. Okay, you always find something that you're connected to. Okay. For more great free content designed to support your purchase of my book, Highly Intuitive People, 7 Right Brain Traits to Change the Lives of Intuitive Sensitive People, please visit finallyfeelunderstood.com. There you can subscribe and download for free the meditation specific to today's episode. If you have already read the book, then it's time for you to receive exclusive access and support from me and your fellow intuitive sensitives as we go deeper together along this proven 7-step path by joining us in my monthly membership program called Heidi's Circle. There you can ask me anything in a safe and private environment, and I will answer you live. Join us today by visiting healmyinnerworld.com.